Take place.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, yeah, we'll see in about 3 months. And by the way, if y'all have one of these meetings on the Saturday of the A&M LSU game that I have tickets to, I'm not going to be there. No offense. All right. My background and expertise is in logging, well logging. So after they've drilled a well bore into a cavern, they will run in with scientific tools to measure different parameters about the ground, salt, earth, whatever we happen to be logging through. And so what I'm kind of here to do is report to you guys what we found out so far from a logging perspective, okay? When they drilled the 3A reentry hole, which everybody's aware of, the 3A reentry hole was a directional well that was drilled on a pad site off of the location for the cavern. They drilled directionally over and entered through the top of the cavern. And we collected log data from 2,750 feet back over to the surface. That data is currently out there. It's being analyzed by the experts over at Baker Atlas, I believe, is doing the processing. And they are currently trying to evaluate that data for some results. We haven't got that yet. After they did that logging, they went ahead and did the cavern reentry. Once they did the cavern reentry, we were able to run Texas Brine was able to run some additional logs in the well. The first thing that we ran in the well was a gamma ray with a weight on it, or sorry, a casing collar with a weight on it. That was to simply see how far down into the cavern we could go, okay? The estimated roof of the cavern from that log was about 3,600 feet. Now, I'm talking about measured depth, so there's going to be some discrepancy between true vertical because it was a directional well and all that, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. But we ran the casing collar locator. We expected the base of the cavern to be at about 5,600 feet deep. We ran in with that weight and casing collar, and we hit a solid surface, something solid at 4,300 feet and could not go any further into the cavern. Okay. At this point in time, we have not been able to sample what we hit. We're assuming it's some sort of fill, but we're going to have to get some more science to determine what it is we hit. Okay. After we ran that log, that told us that we could only go down to 4,300, so we weren't able to go down to the base of the cavern. We ran a sonar tool, and what a sonar tool is, it's just like a sonar, like you think on a submarine. You have this pinging noise, and it goes out, and it'll hit the wall of the cavern, and it comes back and tells you how far out the wall of the cavern is. Well, we do this with a sonar tool. They do it at every 3 degrees all the way around the wellbore, okay? So what they're able to do is get the distance out every 3 degrees all the way around the wellbore. And we do that at multiple depth points, okay? So what it does is it kind of shows us the profile or shape of the cavern, all right? And once we get that, and we've actually seen the preliminary results of that. Now, keep in mind, we were only able to get the tool down to, I believe we actually only ran it to 4,020 feet because they were having some issues. But once they ran that tool, we were able to look at the initial processing, and it was found that from that point back up to the top of the cavern at 3,600 feet, the cavern shape was very similar to the last cavern sonar that was running. I believe it was 2007. Yeah. So that upper portion of the cavern seems to be still intact and stable. But that's what we learned from the sonar tool. Okay. In addition, we also ran in with a well log, which is what's called a gamma ray PDK tool. The gamma ray PDK, and the logging company is great about using